Hi there, I'm Jose, an accountant for Studio J, and I want to tell you how I use Function Point. We bill based on fixed prices. That means invoicing what we negotiated with the client instead of the actual value of our time and expenses. Sometimes I just need to bill a single job, like this website for example. As work gets done, we invoice at predetermined intervals. At 50% completion, I produce an interim invoice for 50% of what we estimated the job would be worth. If I want to check it before sending it to the client, I can produce a PDF. Otherwise, I send it directly from Function Point. Then I put it in the queue for syncing with QuickBooks. Since I've got QuickBooks for PC, it won't go over until I do an actual sync. If you've got the online version, it's a one-click export. When the job is done, I issue a final invoice. The only difference between interim and final invoices in Function Point is that final invoices make it so you can't track any more time or expenses to the job. Just like with the interim invoice, when I'm happy with the amounts, I'll send it and post it. When everything's confirmed, I mark the job as closed. For campaigns, events, and other multi-job projects, I invoice several jobs at once. For those, I start from the project those jobs are listed under. Same as with the single job, I do interim invoices throughout the project. I can pick and choose what to include, or invoice everything at once. Then I send the invoice and post it. When we're done, I create a final invoice from estimated for all the jobs in the project. And as usual, I'll send it to my client and post it to QuickBooks. We also have retainers. For those, we bill a set amount each month, regardless of the jobs we do and how much time we spend. We might have 2 or 3 jobs in one month, or a single job for several months. Since the invoice and jobs aren't related, but we still want to compare the value of our invoices with our time and expenses, we set those jobs up in a special way. We start with the project, which in Function Point is a group of related jobs. Under the project, we have one job for billing. Every month, we invoice the retainer from that same job. We also use that job to track and bill expenses. I do that every month from the same billing job. No one tracks time to the billing job. Instead, people track time to separate jobs for each deliverable. Then we can look at the retainer financials to compare what we invoiced with what we did. If this number went too far into the negative, we'd know we should negotiate a better deal when the contract is up. At the end of the contract, I go back into the billing job and issue a final invoice. Again, I edit to include unbilled expenses, save it, send it, and post it. Then I search for any jobs in the retainer that haven't been closed yet. And make sure I mark them as closed. Finally, I mark the retainer project as closed. You might handle retainers differently because they tend to vary across agencies. Another important thing I do in Function Point is pull reports. Every week, I do a search for unposted invoices to make sure QuickBooks is up to date. I also search for expenses, first checking to see if there's any we've forgotten to bill. Once I've sent invoices for jobs with unbilled expenses, I do another search for expenses with the status of unposted. I click into each expense to post it. I also like to pull a couple ready-made reports on a regular basis. One of my favorites is the Estimate, Actual, and Invoice Dollars by Company, Project, and Job Report. It shows me how long jobs have been open and how much has been invoiced, among other things. If something has been open for longer than a month and I haven't sent an invoice yet, for me, that's a problem. And that's about all I have to show you. Thanks for watching.